All in favor? Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries.
Communications.
You have a thank you letter from the Hanover Township Recreation Department. Thank you for your continued support of the rec program, the use of their bus. They greatly appreciate it. That was it. They're focusing next year to make their efforts next year even better and continue to provide fun and wonderful learning opportunities for the students.
Number 6, public comment on agenda items only. Let's go over to our presentation.
Okay, so our administrative staff and principals are here tonight to do their biannual update on the school self-assessment for HIP grades and the student safety data system. It's a required report by the state of New Jersey. So they come in January and summer. So here they are. So I'm going to turn it over to them to bring you up to date on that.
So good evening. It feels like it's August already. I hope everyone's having a great summer. So I'm going to introduce our report. Again, this is a semi-annual report, which means that we will present again in January. So we present every July and every January on the school safety data information for the districts. Wow. It's on the left side. Yeah. Oh, there you go.
So what is the HIP self-assessment? It's a structure of anti-bullying Bill of Rights Act that helps schools score themselves. There are 8 core elements that we self-assess that we do with our at the end of the year with our school safety teams. They each have a certain amount of points for each of the core elements. The first one focuses on HIP programs that the school district has, as well as approaches or other initiatives that are occurring across the school district. Core element 2 focuses on the training on Board of Ed approved HIP policy and procedures that fall into our Board of Ed policy. Element 3, other staff instruction and training programs that our staff and our administrative team are required to complete. Core element 4, curriculum and instruction on HIP and related information and skills during our embedded professional development. Core element number 5, HIP personnel. Core element 6, school level HIP incident reporting procedures. Core element number 7, school level HIP incident investigation and reporting procedures. And then core element number 8, HIP reporting. So we self-assess on each of these particular elements at the end of the school year. So for the 23-24 school self-assessment for determining grades under the Anti-Bullying Bill of Rights Act, passing is 52 out of 78 possible points, as you saw on the previous page. At CB-LAM, we scored ourselves with 66 points, Endeavor with 68 points, UES with 69 points, and then our average was 67.67. So for the second reporting period, and that was January to the end of the school year, we had 28 total incidents investigated across the district. Right here you may see 20 for Endeavor Elementary School. One of the things to keep in mind is Endeavor Elementary School's population is significantly more than CB-LAM as well as UES, so that may stand out. We had 5 confirmed incidents across the district of HIP, and then we had 23 incidents unfounded across the school district.
I have the pleasure of presenting tonight our district character education highlights here. We're a firm believer that students have to feel connected to the community to be able to be active learners. So some of the things that we're proud of is the way our schools make community builders. In every school, you'll see a responsive classroom, the nurtured heart approach, and we'll do grade level or school-wide morning meetings. Dr. Patterson and Ms. Ward does a great job here. They bring the whole school together monthly for character education learning opportunities. At Endeavor, we do it by grade levels based off of the numbers that we have here. Some pictures you see here, this highlights our team leaders at CB Land Elementary School. It puts about 10 students in leadership roles, and they actually chose a project to clean up Green Acres on there. You're also seeing a picture here that highlights our Lego Education Buddies social skills group that Ms. Flood and Ms. Thara run at CB Land and Endeavor and UES. It brings kids together to work on social skills. And then down here was at Endeavor Elementary School this year. We piloted a safety patrol this year. It was for our 3rd and 4th graders. It was the first year we did that, and we had phenomenal success, and we're going to be bringing it to the other 2 buildings this year. So we couldn't be more proud of the proactive approach that we put into our character education. Something that's not on this list is what our staff does for the students. They model every day what it is to have high character. When I mean staff, teachers, educational assistants, main office staff, how they interact with each other and the students really infuses those beliefs of what a high character is.
Here are some proactive strategies that we've taken to address some of the behaviors across the district. So we implemented the crisis prevention training program for identified personnel. We have about 50 staff that are CPI trained, and that's nonverbal de-escalation strategies and safety measures as needed. We have practical behavioral strategies for all staff. We did that for a full day last September. We had just 5 teachers come and they presented strategies. There's behavior coach for the district for staff consultation and problem solving, and she travels from building to building wherever the needs are for our novice and our veteran teachers. And then we updated our code of conduct, or the guide to code of conduct, with stakeholder input from everybody, from parents to teachers to our admin team. I think we asked you guys for your input as well. And then we are increasing our personnel. So we have 5 behaviorists district-wide, so there's 1 in each building. We have a director of social services who also happens to be a BCBA. We added counselors across the district and 2 additional social workers to support students and families and staff. Let's see if I can do this.
Perfect. So we have a lot of proactive measures in place to help our students and support our staff with any behavioral challenges that may occur. And we also have to address behavior in our schools as well. And this is really incumbent upon us to make data-driven decisions regarding behavior interventions that we put in place, making sure that what we put in place is actually working, identifying first what the function is of that behavior. The big question is always, why is that happening, and what can we do to help support that student and teach replacement skills? Typically, behavioral challenges come along with communication and language deficits. So we need to look at replacement skills that really give those students the strong foundation they need to continue to grow and learn in our educational environment. So when we do that, when we determine the function of the why, that's where we get to writing action plans. Not just special education students can have a behavior intervention plan. We've also written plans this entire school year for students who need them, and we're calling them action plans, behavior action plans for students in the general education environment. Again, addressing the why, putting proactive, reactive, and replacement skills into each and every behavior plan that we write. We also have the behavior intervention plans. Those are specifically for students who have a classification and an IEP, an individualized education plan that we're required to follow. Those are all tweaked, again, based upon that data and graphing to make sure that we analyze those trends to make sure the student and the plan is working the way that we want it to work. If for some reason we do have to use suspension as part of our discipline and consequences that come sometimes with some behaviors. What occurs after those are re-entry meetings every single time that we have a suspension, restorative practices. Again, kind of looking at what can we do to help restore the situation, put the student back into the community, and help resolve the issues they might have with friends, teachers, counselors, etc. Taking into account manifestation of disability, IDEA tells us that we need to take a child's disability into account when we look at any discipline that we implement. Writing those behavior plans. If a child is suspended 2 times, they don't have to be consecutive, but if a child is suspended 2 times at all during the school year, a behavior intervention plan has to be implemented and written immediately for that student. So that has also been occurring this year. Every time thereafter, if a student is suspended, that behavior plan has to be looked at, addressed, analyzed, and making sure we make any tweaks and modifications as needed, because the idea is that we're making that plan so the student does not get suspended again in the future. It's incumbent upon us to look at all the strategies and supports that we're putting in place for that student, not to repeat what happened previously. And then continuous analysis of that behavior, and if it needs to be, and there's a higher level of incidents that occurs, law enforcement may be involved in higher level situations as needed.
And we just want to say thank you. We appreciate everyone's continued support of our professional development and programming for our students. And as Ms. Payne said, we will present again in January with an update.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
I'm not
Thank
touching it
you.
again. Okay. This is not my strong suit. You guys know that already.
Any questions? Move on to number 8, personnel. Make a motion to approve the following personnel action based on the recommendations of the superintendent. 8.1 through 8.14. Just a second on that.
Mrs. Morrow? Have a second one? Yeah, Mr. Green, second one.
Yes.
Mr. Green?
Yeah.
Mr. Knighton?
Yes.
Mr. Reddick?
Yes. Number 9, instructional. Motion to approve the following instructional items based on the recommendation of the superintendent at 9.1 through 9.6.
Mr. Green? Mr. Knighton?
Yes.
Mrs. Morrow? Mr. Reddick?
Yes. Number 10, financial. Motion to approve the following financial items based on the recommendation of the superintendent at 10.1 through 10.17.
I'm sorry, Mr.
Oh,
Green, did you second?
he
I'm
said
sorry. Mr. Knighton?
Yes.
Mrs. Morrow?
Yes.
Mr. Green?
Yes.
Mr. Reddick?
Yes. And then 10.16 was, we do have chief here if anyone had any questions.
Yeah, so Mr. Reddick is referring to a shared service agreement with our police department to put class 3 officers, I was gonna call them SROs, they're not SROs, into our buildings. We will complete it after around November,
Yes,
but he's here tonight if you guys have any questions about that.
if anyone's unfamiliar with what a class 3 officer is.
Can you just explain?
Yeah.
Since you have the floor.
Yes.
And you're here.
Yeah, class 3 officer is anyone that retired in law enforcement in good standing under the age of 65. They have to be less than 3 years retired. It's a position created by the Police Training Commission about 5 years ago that basically gave the ability that a retired officer, still in good standing, would have the ability to work up until the age of 65 only in a school environment. They have really no law enforcement ability outside. They're employed through the township. However, you're not going to see them out on patrol. Their sole appointment is just within the building the school buildings. They would be employed 180 days. They would follow the student's calendar year so that they're always present when the school is in session. They're hired by the township. They still have to qualify with firearms. They would be in a police uniform just like myself. They would have a marked car that sat outside of the building. They would have an office within the building, and they would be available to the school as needed every day.
Do you wanna talk about some of what they will do and won't do?
Yeah, so they're not disciplined, you know, that's still handled by the school district, but they would attend within their first year of appointment. They would go through the school resource officer 40-hour mandated training by the state. So they would be familiar with a lot of the things that the school goes through when they go through those same trainings, kind of familiarize themselves with where school policies and things are. They would be a frontline person. They would assist in any of the trainings that are, you know, the school mandated lockdowns, lockouts, active shooter trainings, everything that we participate in now and view and give recommendations for. This would be somebody within the walls of the building that would always be available for, you know, anything that they see as safety concerns. Somebody that would be the first person to notify if there was a problem, medical emergencies, you know, any need for more police response. It would kind of cut the middleman where the school's dialing 911 trying to get emergency response to the building. They're gonna be in here uniformed, armed with a radio to have that instant dispatch to be able to expedite any resources that the school would ever need. Or also just be available to the school to maybe answer questions, you know, deconflict situations that may arise during the day, and, you know, just always have a presence within the building. You know, their hours would be 7:30 to 3:30, so pretty much any time activities going on, they would always be present inside the school. Yes?
Will there be one officer per school?
Yes.
What if there's an officer that's sick or on vacation?
Yes, so they're, the only thing that they're entitled is sick time, just the mandated, however, they have to accrue by state statute there. They're not entitled to personal vacation, and our goal is to backfill it with, just overtime to where somebody would have to come in and just be assigned to the school for that day.
Would it be a North Andover office?
Yes, yeah, it would only be more time.
Any other questions? Thank you.
Made that too easy?
Yeah,
Thank you.
thanks for being here.
Alright, number 11, travel. Motion to approve the following travel items based on recommendation of the superintendent. 11.1.1.
Mrs. Morrow?
Yes.
Mr. Green?
Yes.
Mr. Martin?
Yes.
Mr. Webb?
Yes. Number 12, other business. Motion to approve the following other business items based on the recommendation of the superintendent. 12.1 through 12.9.
Second.
Mr. Green?
Yes.
Mr. Knighton?
Yes.
Mrs. Morrow?
Yes.
Mr. Webb?
Yes.
Motion's carried.
Number 13, facilities. Motion to approve the following facilities items based on the recommendation of the superintendent. Is listed below.
Second.
Mr. Knighton?
Yes.
Mrs. Morrow?
Yes.
Mr. Green?
Yes.
Mr. Webb?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Number 14, transportation. Motion to approve the following transportation items based on the recommendation of the superintendent. 14.1 through 14.3.
Second.
Mrs. Morrow?
Yes.
Mr. Green?
Yes.
Mr. Knighton?
Yes.
Mr. Webb?
Yes. Number 15, superintendent report.
So we are wrapping up our summer programs. I think they go for another week and a half or so.
This week's it.
This is it, this is
We're
it.
done on the
This week is
ninth.
very end, okay. So we really are wrapping up our summer programs. We had a lot of students participate in the variety of programs that we offered throughout the summer. I would, if I were taking a guess, it would be probably more than 250 students overall participated. So they were a great success. The next couple of weeks are really busy enrollment weeks. If you look at the enrollment report, it says 1440. This is never a great time to look at our enrollment number though, because so much change happens in the next couple of weeks. But 1440 is a big number for this time in August. So we'll have to wait and see what happens in the next couple of weeks as we get our families coming in. We're still seeing the trend that we talked about in the spring of increasing numbers of students with IEPs and special education needs and significant special education needs. So Mrs. Vlasic is paying close attention to that and monitoring, what we're going to need in order to fulfill those needs. When students come in with IEPs, it's our obligation to meet the IEPs as they're written. I would also like to introduce Mrs. Guinan. She is here. She is our new Director of Curriculum and Instruction. You didn't get to meet her because I think we interviewed her and offered her the job like all in the same day, so she couldn't turn it around fast enough to be here for the meeting, but she has officially started only, I think, the last 5
Thursday.
days. But has really been coming in on her own time all summer, and has already started meeting with teachers, meeting with the individual members of the administrative team. She's always asking me, is it okay if I reach out to this group and see if they're available? So she's really eager to hit the ground running, and is doing a great job of discerning what our most pressing needs are, sort of immediate, short-term, medium-term, and long-term. And I look forward to the work that we'll see her do. So I just want to officially welcome her, even though
Happy to be here.
it feels like she's been here a while. And that's really it for my update. Thank you.
Moving on here, any old business, new business? All right, we'll open up to public comment.